Hello everyone, I'm Pratima and today I have Samsung's brand new Galaxy A07 with me. It's launching pretty soon in India for under 10,000 rupees, making it Samsung's cheapest phone of the year. And if you look at the sales numbers, Samsung's super affordable phones are a pretty big deal even in 2025. Its predecessor, the Galaxy A06, was actually the 6th best-selling phone in the world during the first quarter of 2025. So clearly, there is a lot of demand in the market for budget phones from big name brands like Samsung. What got me even more excited is that the Galaxy A07 actually brings a couple of useful upgrades over the Galaxy A06 as well, including an improved design and better performance. But are these upgrades enough for the Galaxy A07 to become a bestseller again in 2025? Okay, let me start with the design, and as you can see, the Galaxy A07 looks a little different from the Galaxy A06. Its back design looks similar to what we've seen on basically every Galaxy A series phones this year. Samsung also says the Galaxy A07 is a little slimmer and thinner than before, but majorly there are two new upgrades. Number one, it now has IP54 dust and water rating, and number two, the Galaxy A07 also has a glass fiber back, which is still plastic, but Samsung says it's more durable and scratch resistant. Other than this, I love how Samsung is still keeping the headphone jack alive in budget phones in 2025. You also get a dedicated microSD card slot to further expand storage if you want, while its fingerprint reader on the power button feels fast and secure as always. So overall, I am pretty happy with the Galaxy A07's design this year. The other area where Samsung has added some upgrades is the performance. So first things first, the Galaxy A07 is now powered by the Helio G99 chip, which compared to the Helio G85 on last year's Galaxy A06 is both more powerful and more power efficient. It does not have 5G support, which sucks obviously, but I've tested this MediaTek processor on maybe a couple of dozen phones and tablets, and as I expected, I had little to zero performance issues in my normal day-to-day usage with the Galaxy A07. Some relatively large apps do take a second to load, and don't expect to do heavy multitasking here, but other than that, everything works just fine. From browsing the web to scrolling social media apps or just casually taking photos, this guy can do it all. Even for gaming, I'm happy to report that the Galaxy A07 can push a steady 60 FPS in Mobile Legends, while I noticed some minor frame drops in more graphics-hungry games like PUBG at 60 FPS, but it's completely playable. These here are the gaming results from the 6GB variant I tested. The 4GB model struggled with the same tasks, so I wouldn't recommend going for the base model with 4GB of RAM. Anyway, the real star on Samsung phones, even on budget phones like this one, definitely has to be the software experience. The Galaxy A07 runs on the One UI 7 based on Android 15, and it's the full-fledged version of One UI, by the way, not the One UI core crap we used to get before on Samsung budget phones, which skipped out on some useful features like secure folder, good lock, and Knox security. Actually, Samsung stopped the One UI core releases starting with One UI 6, which means the One UI experience should now be pretty much the same across all Samsung phones, except, of course, for the Galaxy AI features. The Galaxy A07 still has Circle to Search, and you can always install Gemini if you want a bit more AI help, but that's basically all the AI features that you can get on this phone. By the way, Samsung has committed to 6 years of OS plus security updates on the Galaxy A07, which is just awesome for a budget phone. It will still be getting software updates in 2032, which is something I can't say about a lot of flagship phones that are like 5 to 10 times more expensive. Now, how well the Galaxy A07 handles all those updates will be interesting to see, but this is great news anyway. Okay, moving on to the display, there isn't much upgrades here except that the A07 has a 90Hz refresh rate versus 60Hz on the A06. It's still a 720p screen stretched across a large 6.7 inches LCD panel, but I didn't really find it lacking in sharpness. The color reproduction is also pretty good for an LCD screen, so overall you shouldn't have any issues with this display. What I will complain about is this teardrop notch and the single speaker setup, but I guess you can only get so much on an affordable phone. Okay, what about the cameras then? Unfortunately, the Galaxy A07 does not get any love in the camera department. It still has the same 50 megapixel main camera, a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and an 8 megapixel selfie shooter, so there's not a lot that's new here. That said, with a steady hands and good lighting, you can still get some decent shots. I am actually impressed with Samsung's color science on a budget phone, and the Galaxy A07 takes pretty nice portraits too. Definitely a step above what most other budget phones offer. Even the selfies aren't that bad. They have a nice natural skin tone and wide enough field of view. Well, that said, I'd love to see Samsung improve a few things with the software update, like the exposure control and better optimization for close-up shots. And when it comes to videos, the Galaxy A07 can shoot at up to 1080p 30 fps from both its main and the front cameras. The quality is good enough for still videos, but once you start moving, the footage looks like there's been an earthquake. Finally, the Galaxy A07 has the same 5000 mAh battery as the Galaxy A06, and I have gotten fantastic battery life from it. I was consistently getting a day and a half worth of power even when I was pushing it with things like mobile data and gaming, whereas I didn't have to reach for its charger for 2 days straight under light usage. And with the 25-watt Samsung charger, this phone can go from 0 to 100% in an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, so let me wrap it all up now, and all things considered, I'd say the Galaxy A07 is a decent budget phone in my opinion, at least by Samsung standards. It has a couple of great stuff like the software experience, updates and battery life, a couple of good stuff like the design and the display, and a couple of decent stuff like the camera and the multimedia experience. So for those who want a reliable budget phone backed by a strong brand value from Samsung, the Galaxy A07 is once again a good choice. But of course, if you absolutely want 5G support and a more modern punch hole display along with a 120Hz refresh rate, you do have a couple of other good options like the Motorola G35 or the iQOO Z10 Lite. But like I mentioned in my Galaxy A17 review, Samsung's offline presence, after-sales service and brand reputation are just so strong that I wouldn't be surprised if the Galaxy A07 outsells its competition by a huge margin. Well everyone, that was all for my full review of Samsung's latest budget phone, the Galaxy A07. What do you think about this device? Do let me know in the comments, and while you're there, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notifications icon. Saying this, I'm Pratima and thank you so much for watching.